Welcome back. Brock Turner, the college student who sexually assaulted a young woman on the Stanford University campus, was sentenced to prison for the crime, but he was released in September of last year after serving just 3 months. After the assault, the woman wrote a letter to him about her experience, an extremely powerful impact statement that's been shared by millions. Now that letter is being read on a local stage to mark Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which kicks off in April. This is a project to benefit the Women's Center of Jacksonville, Nassau Rape Crisis Division, and the reading is called You Don't Know Me. Right now we welcome Diana Herman, who put the letter in script form, Sarah Weiss, Advocacy Director, and Lori Armstrong, the Nassau County Advocate for the Rape Crisis Division. Ladies, all of you, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you so much, Melissa.
Diana, let's begin with you. This letter was shared publicly as the woman who was assaulted told the world and told Brock Turner, more importantly, what his acts did to her psychologically, physically. It's an incredibly powerful statement, and it's very difficult to read. Can you share a little bit about why you decided to put this in the form almost of a play or a public reading?
Well, theater is my art, and after reading the letter, I felt compelled to stage it. I had to do something with her words. They are so powerful. Her imagery as well. She shares the before, the during, the after trial, the sentencing. But we hear her pain, her anger, her frustration, but it's her strength that and how she transcended her ordeal, taking back the power after being helpless for so long. That stayed with me. I just couldn't let it be, so I felt I needed to do something with it.
What's going to be happening, Sarah? This is going to be performed in Nassau County, and a really cathartic experience, I would think, for women that have also gone through assault, and they can be part of this as well.
Yes. The play is it's a fundraiser for us at the Women's Center, and what that does is help us raise funds for survivors for any of their immediate needs. Some of the needs that we need funding for is clothing, food, sometimes emergency shelter such as hotels. Mm-hmm. That's not too common, but it does happen at some point. We need funding for transportation, and it really helps us directly help those survivors and their needs.
And Lori Armstrong, you want to help survivors. You need funding, but you also need to raise awareness, because I think what this case did was it brought home the issue of hookup culture and rape culture on college campuses and in society generally. For example, the judge in this case, Santa Clara County Judge Aaron Persky, initially he said he didn't want to go too heavily on Brock Turner because it might impact his athletic career. That's rape culture.
Exactly.
And in the impact statement, the woman writes what it was like to read about this in newspapers all around the world. And she writes, in the next paragraph, I read something that I will never forgive. I read that according to him, I liked it. Again, I do not have words for these feelings. At the bottom of the article, after I learned about the graphic details of my own sexual assault, the article listed his swimming career 6 times. And so Brock Turner's swimming career, in her eyes, and of course in the eyes of society at the time, was presented as more important than the fact that a crime had been committed.
Exactly. And it's so unfortunate when it comes down, especially with athletes. There was, if you've ever seen The Hunting Ground, which is about college assault on college campuses, athletes tend to get away with a little bit more. And especially
sometimes a lot more.
Sometimes a lot more. The backlash that particular judge got in the Brock Turner case, there was outrage. But this letter does speak for a lot of survivors and will hopefully help other survivors be empowered.
Right, and they're trying to, Diana Herman, they're trying to recall this judge. They were going to hold a special election, but they've delayed placing a recall on the ballot until next summer. So Brock Turner served 3 months.
Yes.
That's more actually than a lot of men convicted of sexual assault serve. Often they don't serve any time at all.
No. And just think about how many cases are unreported. I believe the statistic on college campuses is 1 in 5 women experience sexual assault or rape. And there are so many more that are unreported.
And this one might not have ever been reported, except for the fact that a couple of young
Swedish
graduate students were bicycling by and
Yes.
happened to witness this.
Yes. Now, she was behind a dumpster and not in the view of anyone. And the 2 grad students were very overcome with emotion when they did tackle him as he was fleeing the scene.
And she was unconscious.
Right, she doesn't remember the assault.
No, has no memory.
Okay, so the reading is called You Don't Know Me. Again,
Yes.
if you're just tuning in, as April marks Sexual Assault Awareness Month, this project will benefit the Women's Center of Jacksonville, Nassau Rape Crisis Division. We need to mention, Sarah, that the Women's Center doesn't just serve women in Duval County, but also Nassau and I think Baker counties.
Right.
So this will help women all over the area.
Yes, and our rape recovery team happens to serve all genders, not just women. So all survivors of sexual violence can access our services through our rape crisis hotline.
Okay, and what's that number?
It's 904-721-7273, and it's a 24-hour rape crisis hotline.
And how can people attend this event? Let's give that information out once again.
It will be at the Amelia Community Theater, March 31st and April 1st, both 8 p.m. It's an hour-long performance. We will also have a talk back after the performance.
And how many people on stage?
There are 5 actors. 3 women share the letters, so we have 3 different voices to show the universality of the subject matter.
Excellent. Thanks so much for joining us, Diane Herman, who scripted this, Lori Armstrong, and Sarah Weiss, advocates with the Nassau Rape Crisis Division of the Women's Center of Jax. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for
Melissa.
having
Thank
us.
you.
And we'll be right back.